It's the funniest thing. Whenever we do these things, I'm always like properly prepared beforehand, and then we get here, and I am not prepared at all, and nothing is where I want it to be, which is also very helpful.
Yeah.
But that's life as a podcaster, I guess.
Yeah.
And on that note, hey everybody, welcome back to the Blue Podcast. This is the Blue Show, and it's me this week. You're going to have to put up with my voice, unfortunately, because Tom's unfortunately unable to be here. But we have got Lloyd back, which is even better, I think. I think Tom can agree. We've hit a bonus here, getting Lloyd back in. How does it feel to be back in the studio?
That's good. It's been a while. Yeah. I've been looking forward to this date. I'm quite excited to get right into it and discuss these transfers because bits happened in the past month.
Quite a bit has happened. So we thought for this kind of first podcast that we're doing this week that we talk about each of the clubs and kind of go through some of their news that's happened over the summer, because there's quite a few bits of like little things that I've wanted to mention.
Yeah.
But it would feel weird to do a podcast about each club and it wouldn't fit into other so I wanted to do just one podcast. We'll go through each club, we'll go through a few bits of information that we've had, and then we'll talk about that, and then that will be today's show, just giving you a little bit of transfer and club related updates on each of your favourite clubs in the Premier League. So let's do alphabetical.
Right.
So let's start with Arsenal. So their biggest piece of news, I guess, would be they are going after Calafiori.
Yeah.
He's had quite the Euros, hasn't he, Lloyd?
Yeah. No, Calafiori, I mean, impressive for Italy despite them going out round of 16. Ooh. And pretty good for Bologna, to say the least, under Thiago Motta. Solid centre-back. Definitely would want him at Liverpool. So if Arsenal were going to get him, I mean, that's scary. I mean, to have Calafiori, Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, Julian Timber as options, I mean, that's a joke. Absolute joke. So if they get him, be a really good signing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but Bologna are being torn to pieces, aren't they, at the moment? Like,
yeah.
Everyone's going. Motta's gone.
Yeah.
Calafiori's going. Xerxes already gone.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because they were quite a good little team there. Got Champions League football. Probably not going to work out for them next season because they lost the players and their coach.
Yeah.
But I think he's earning this move. Calafiori has had a great season. It is a shame about Italy, but I'd also say that he's probably been their best player.
Yeah.
In their tournament.
I'd say so. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've underperformed, but he's been the standout.
It's weird with Italy because, of course, you've got the whole Euros win last time, but outside of that, they've barely qualified. And when they have qualified, they've done really badly in every other tournament they've gone to. Yeah. So,
I mean, even El Shaarawy starting in 2024 in the round of 16.
Forgot about that.
I mean, what? Like Spalletti is a decent. He's not a bad manager, is he?
No.
Of course, won Serie A with Napoli, and then he left. But I mean, Darmian at left back at 34. Like the decisions.
On his weaker foot. But then again, international teams and playing right-footed players on the left.
Yeah.
It's a common thing nowadays that upsets a lot of fans, and we'll get onto that in a future video. I mean, we've got our Euro summary coming out in a couple of weeks from when you see this.
Yeah.
To give you a bit of context as to when this is being recorded, we are currently in between the two semi-finals. So we don't know who's going to be in the final.
No.
It doesn't matter if we get there or not. Southgate's going. And again, we'll talk about that very, very soon. But yeah, Trippier's annoyed me. But let's stop getting off topic. Some other smaller bits of news about Arsenal. Raya's there on a permanent deal now.
Yeah. Everyone saw that coming.
They were happy with him.
Yeah.
I mean, each to their own, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he has a mistake in him. Definitely. I think we have seen that this season. But I do think that he probably is an upgrade on Ramsdale for me. But, I mean, that defence is so solid. Like, he rarely ever gets a chance to probably make a mistake.
I mean, I think he was top for clean sheets, but, like, everybody knows that he's
not the best goalkeeper in the league.
Sub-best goalkeeper. But then again, the supposed best goalkeeper in Edison is off to Saudi, apparently. So
yeah, saw that. That's interesting.
Who knows what's happening there? Speaking about Ramsdale, he is one of a few players who are being considered for moves away from the club.
Yeah.
You've got him. You've got Nketiah and Smith Rowe, who both might be going to Ipswich Town.
Wow.
Which is a massive deal, potentially, if that happens. Although we are signing Liam Delap from Man City, which is another great bit of business, so maybe not. Kieran Tierney, Nuno Tavares, who's off to Lazio, Lokonga, and also Reece Nelson is up for sale, apparently, despite the fact he's literally just signed a new contract. So That seems wasteful, but there we go. I think that's everything we have on Arsenal. Do you want to kick us off with Villa? Aston Villa?
Ross Barkley gone to Villa, isn't he?
The return of the special one. I remember him kind of starting for Villa. In that first spell, the first few games he started for Villa, he was unplayable. And then he just kind of dropped off a little bit. And then obviously he's gone to Luton, been their best player. I thought he went on free, but didn't they pay a fee for him?
Yeah, 5.2 million, I think it is.
Jesus.
But they are not going to, sell him, are they? The only way he'll probably leave is on a free transfer.
That's what I was thinking, but they've it's like they've courteously Luton, we feel bad for you, here's 5 million. It's just like chump change.
They just chucked it. But yeah, that's a good signing. I mean, as you said, he had a really good season at Luton Town last year. I think that losing Douglas Luiz is not good.
Not great, no, not at all.
The players that they've brought in instead, Baranachea and Ealing Jr., both young players.
I don't mind it, but I liked it a lot more when McKennie was in the deal, because at least then you have a direct swap.
Yeah, exactly.
And you didn't have to go out and recruit, because now they have to go out and find themselves a 6, which is going to be tricky to do. Yeah. And I don't see any of the men you mentioned, even Barkley, doing that job.
No.
So that's going to be a tricky day.
I mean, especially with Kamara there, he's been a bit injury prone since he's moved to Villa, so he's not always available, even though he is decent.
Ball winner, but I don't know how I feel with him on the ball.
Yeah,
it's weird. But they have done one other piece of great business. They brought in Ian Maatsen.
Oh
from
yeah,
Chelsea,
of course, yeah.
Which I'd forgotten about, but that is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know how they managed it. Why are Dortmund not sniffing that, and why are Dortmund not just activating the buy clause?
Yeah, I am quite surprised at that they've not done it, because he's done really well out in Dortmund, doesn't he? I mean,
they've been crying out for a left back since Guerrero left for Bayern on a free.
Yeah,
I don't rate Ben Sebaini. I don't rate. I forget. Is it Morey? Is the other option at left back? I don't. They need to find someone. If they're not going to buy Maatsen, they have to find somebody else, because it's getting a bit ridiculous now.
Yeah.
The other bit of news, which is reasonably big, I think, for Villa, is that they have started a project to increase Villa Park's capacity to over 50,000 and give it a bit of a lick of fresh paint and modernise it. So they've obviously seen how they're doing, and they're establishing themselves as a big club.
Yeah.
In the modern era, obviously they're a massive club historically, and they are making their stadium elite.
Yeah.
And I think that's massive to say. I think that's where every club should be looking if they get up to the Premier League and they want to establish themselves as like a top club for a long period of time. Doing up stadium is massive.
No, 100%. No, I mean, definitely looking at Aston Villa, how they performed last season, finishing 4th in the table. And they are a big club. They've got a big fan base.
Oh, huge.
Massive for them. So, yeah, and Villa Park, historic stadium, why not redo it a little bit, give it a little bit more? Because, loads of teams are moving from stadium to stadium. I like it when teams stay at their ground for a long time. I think it's just better. It's like
the history.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with Arsenal at the Emirates. Maybe the year before last season, the atmosphere was probably at its best. But ever since they left Highbury, if you speak to older Arsenal fans who have been there, they will tell you that Highbury was the best atmosphere for Arsenal.
Exactly. So. I mean, I think time heals wounds and time makes stadiums better because it's got the history then.
Yeah.
If they start to win some trophies at the Emirates, like a couple of Premier Leagues, I think you'll see them the atmosphere improve, the fans start to love the stadium more. Because it's not like Everton's new stadium or anything else recent, because it was built a long time ago now.
Yeah.
You forget how long it's been.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years.
So I think we might be at the point soon where they start to not forget about Highbury, because you can never forget about a stadium.
No,
like that, but start to accept that the atmosphere at the Emirates is a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Not much to say about Bournemouth, so we'll do it quickly. Iriola signed a new contract.
Yeah, big news for them, that is.
That's because he's been great for them.
Yeah.
And Lloyd Kelly has left on a free and gone to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Which is not good for them.
No,
so
not really. Not ideal. No, I mean, I saw they bought Enes Unal on a permanent.
Yes, that was made permanent.
I think it's
much.
I think it's a good deal, because
could be worse.
Solanke's not. I mean, if he leaves, then you've got a backup who I think he scored got 2 goals, 2 assists in under 400 league minutes, which is pretty good.
Not terrible, I suppose.
But
we didn't see much of him in all fairness, and I wasn't I was a bit like, oh, he went there. Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Obviously he was at Getafe last season. And then went to Bournemouth. Was it in January? I think it was in January.
I cannot remember if it was in January or in the summer. But anyway, he moved. He scored a couple goals. Did not play a lot because Solanke was on fire.
Exactly. And
So-
he won't be as on fire next season, and his confidence will drop. So you will need somebody else in there. I don't see him leaving the club, though. No one's been linked, so I don't think it'll happen.
No, I reckon Solanke will stay.
You need to have a couple of consistent goal scoring if you want to get picked up by one of the big clubs at this point. I think
so, yeah.
that would be the smart thing anyway. And obviously Chelsea will just spunk the money whenever they want. But that's a whole other issue.
Get to Chelsea in a bit, won't we, with all their
Exactly.
signings.
In fact, in a couple of clubs. But first of all, we should probably talk about Brentford. I was very shocked when I saw Fabrizio tweeting that Archie Gray was headed to Brentford.
Yeah.
I was very shocked. And then I was so shocked that it didn't happen.
Yeah. If I was a Brentford fan, I would be pretty annoyed at that because he is a good player, isn't he?
What happened there? Because did they pull out, or did Tottenham come in and then he pulled out?
I think it was pretty much Tottenham came in last minute.
Yeah.
And then his head sort of got turned. And then he went to Tottenham instead of going to Brentford, which, I mean, I cannot blame him because,
oh, God.
you know, under Postecoglou, he's going to get chances. He's going to get opportunities,
oh, yeah.
definitely.
I hope he does.
Without a doubt.
Well, you got Sarr there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, who's playing right back for Tottenham these days?
Pedro Porro.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was going to say you could play him right back. But
yeah, but like even still, he can play as a backup
get
right back.
minutes.
He can play in midfield. You know, he's going to get a lot of minutes.
He'll get minutes, and especially if they sell Emerson Royale to AC Milan, which might happen.
Which seems like that's going to go
that
through.
Might be massive. Obviously, Frank Lampard. No, Thomas Frank is staying.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's happened with Brentford this month, I don't know if you've seen on Twitter. Neil Maupay's tweeting some absolute rubbish, and I love it.
I think he is great. You know, lots of football fans will say we need more characters in football, but then they will complain about Neil Maupay.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It's like
he's the most.
He's brilliant. I think he is great. He rattles so many people, but he just gives his opinions the whole time. Like even when James Maddison did not get called up to the England squad, he puts a photo with him and it was like a darts board behind him. Like,
oh my god, he is a bang average footballer, but as a comedian, he's
brilliant.
Hilarious.
I'd love to see him as a pundit.
Oh, wouldn't that be brilliant? Oh,
wouldn't that be amazing?
He wouldn't be, because you get those kind of pundits that are great because they're like poets and like their voice, and you get some that's just
you need a few like humorous people, you know, like Micah Richards. Whenever he's on the TV, you know they're gonna have a good time on set.
Yeah, exactly. He's also got the most English accent I've ever heard for a Frenchman. I don't know if it's
so true. Yeah,
he's been in London for a long time. To be fair, he's been in the Brentford Academy for a long time. But oh, mate, it's uncanny. There are a few people like that, but like it's pretty decent for an English accent. But not bad. Let's move on to Brighton. Not a lot's happening there. Ibrahim Osman has come in from is it Nordsjælland or is it?
Yeah,
I think so. It's one of those two because you got the big Danish club in Nordsjælland, and then you have the Salzburg over in Austria. Both great talent factories. Mm-hmm. This guy is supposed to be very good, and obviously you know Brighton's reputation with young people.
Yeah.
Speaking of young people, they have brought through the youngest ever manager in the Premier League.
Yeah, they have, haven't they?
And let me say this properly. I've got the glasses on.
Got the glasses on. I've got to get ready.
Fabian Hürzeler. I'm going to go Hürzeler.
Right, okay.
I think he's Austrian, from what I remember. But or Austro-German, like that kind of area of football. Yeah, he's a young coach.
Yeah.
It seems to fit perfectly with Brighton's kind of philosophies. Whether or not it succeeds,
we'll find out.
We'll see. I mean, obviously did they go for Potter at any point? I feel like they talked.
Yeah, I reckon Potter was probably
number one choice.
They're there or thereabouts.
And then because he rejected them, he rejected Leicester. I feel like he's hanging in for the England job, which I don't know if it's going to happen.
We'll wait and see.
We'll talk about that one later, actually. But no, that didn't happen.
I saw they bought Matt Sweefer from Feyenoord.
Yes, that's
I think that is brilliant. As a brilliant bit of business.
Why you didn't go for them?
Well,
this
is what frustrates me. You know, the board have said we are waiting for opportunities in the market, which translates to me we are not going to spend a lot on players if there is a really good opportunity, we will go for it. Apart from that, we're not really going to buy too many people, which I do not think bodes very well. But
well, see, I've put up for this with years for Man United and like bad transfer strategy. Enjoy it whilst you have it. It sucks. And obviously we'll come on to Man United in a little bit, and I'm very happy.
Yeah, they're making loads of moves
in a little bit. But before that, let's talk about another kind of Big Six club in Chelsea. The first thing that I wanted to mention with Chelsea is the amount of fucking centre backs they're going to have next season.
It's a joke, isn't it?
And they've lost Thiago Silva.
Yeah,
because you've got right. So you got Disasi, Badiashile, Chalobah, Gilchrist. Who else is there? Fofana.
Yeah, they've brought in
who else?
Tosin from Fulham.
Then they brought in Tosin, and they want one more, don't they?
Yeah, I believe
they've
so.
been linked
yeah.
with another one. There's 7 centre backs there. Do you really need 7 centre backs?
It's like they've bought so many players. It is absolutely crazy. I mean, some of it probably will end up being good business.
Yeah.
Like Esteval is tearing up Brazil at the moment.
I mean, I know we've seen Yamal do amazing things for Spain at the Euros at the moment. That goal, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It is a joke. Hopefully that they think we're talking about. He hasn't scored another banger since we've spoken.
Yeah. Could you imagine he scores a hat-trick in the final?
Oh, Jesus. But I don't see... I was saying this to Chelsea fans the other day. I don't see him starting. I see Madueke and Mudryk off the front, and then you've got Sterling and a couple of others in behind. I think a loan move would do well for him. Yeah,
I mean, we will see what happens. I mean, the Brazilian media are absolutely raving about him. They love him out there. They think he's a great player. Yeah. And I mean, what I've seen of him, some of the goals he scored, ridiculous. So I'm quite excited about that.
I mean, he will be a great player. I just don't know when.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, you just don't know. But yeah, what he's doing out in Brazil is pretty special. Get him for 29 million. If even still. If he does okay and does not do too bad, is it really that bad of a deal?
No, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll end up being a deal worth doing. I just don't think he's going to get as many minutes as some Chelsea fans expect.
Right, yeah.
Mascara has never been one that I've seen who prioritises like 17-year-olds. Like, he goes for pace. And I don't know how... I feel he's more tricky than pacey. But
we will see. I think he'll be a good player. I think he'll do well for them. I mean, Dewsbury Hall's in as well. He is indeed.
Which
I think so. I think that's a good move again for Chelsea. I think that's another good signing.
Exactly.
I like him a lot. I think they have a balance of Caicedo, Fernandes, Dewsbury Hall. That's a good midfield three. It's a good balance. And if you've got Gallagher in there, if Gallagher stays or Gallagher goes, that's good as well. They got good depth there. I think their midfield is looking pretty strong.
We also forgot about a couple of names there when we were talking about centre backs. Levi Colwill.
Oh, of course,
Levi Colwill. And we've forgot about Malang Sarr, although to be fair, most Chelsea managers forget about Malang Sarr.
Yeah, I mean, what is going on with him? Like, does he actually... He must have played, like, 4 games for them in total or something?
No, he played an entire season. He played 21 games.
When did he play?
In 2021-22, he played 8 games in the Prem, 4 in the FA Cup, 5 in the EFL Cup, 2 in the Champions League, and 2 in the FIFA Club World Cup.
I never even realised that he played that much at all.
He was amazing for Nice and for Porto, and then Chelsea got him on a free on a major deal, and he's not played.
He's just
It's another one in there. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 currently at the club, and then you're going to
like 9 or 10.
And then you're going to bring in the likes of Tosin.
Yeah.
And then you're probably... I think they were linked with one more. I forget what the name of that player was, but they were linked with another one.
They're linked with another... Yeah, I mean...
Ridiculous.
There's so many.
They have been beating financial fair play into the ground. So far they've sold Lewis Hall to Newcastle's gone through for £28 million.
Yeah.
Ian Matson's gone to Villa for £38 million. You've taken Hakim Ziyech off the wage bill.
Yeah.
Thiago Silva off the wage bill. Broja looks like he's going to leave. Fofana looks like he's going to leave. And then they've been doing some kind of weird deal with Villa as well because they sold
they bought in
Matson and they bought Kellyman
in for about just
a
under
few
20
clubs
million.
are doing this now where they're swapping players.
Everton and Villa have done it as well.
Yeah. I don't like it, but that's just me. I think it's a bit...
It's sort of... Well,
They're not. It's not swap deal. It's a
No.
swap deal would be an exchange of players and potentially add some cash one way. You can't sell a player for 50 and then buy a player for 40 and then say it's a
yeah, and
part
then
exchange. It's a player
that
plus
needs
10
to be
mil.
a swap deal, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make just so they can write it off the book.
Well, yeah, that's why they're doing it because
Yeah.
it's another loophole.
But I think they'll eventually patch that one up. I don't see the FA letting that one stand for too long.
No.
But that's just me. So we should probably move on.
We've got Palace. Is it
We've got
Palace
Pa-
next?
it is
Crystal
Palace. The biggest news about Crystal Palace is
Michael Olise's left.
yes.
Michael-
He's
Not
not.
great.
He's not joined Man United, which is what I thought was going to happen. But to be fair, I'm not too mad at it because it's not really a position that we're focusing on much.
Right.
At the very least, he's not gone to Chelsea either.
No.
He's
Gone
gone
to
to
Bayern.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
The boy
Vincent Kompany.
from South London. You hear him doing the interview because he's French, but is he? He's very English. You hear him speak. It's another one of those where you hear him speak and he doesn't sound French in the slightest. He's very English, and he's gone to Germany. I feel like he would have been more comfortable staying in England. But he's just picked up this Bayern thing, and I'm like, oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot blame him. I mean, if Bayern Munich come in, do you say no? I would not.
Well, if Real Madrid come in,
Well, if Real Madrid come in, you don't say no, do
well,
you?
if Man United come in.
Well.
well. No, let's be real about this. He's gonna crush that.
He's going to do very well. Yeah.
Him and Harry Kane.
He's a good player. He's a quality player.
under Vincent Kompany.
Yeah.
Which is really weird, and I still don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's such an interesting appointment. It's either going to go, it's going to be a brilliant thing for Bayern,
Yeah.
or it's going to end horribly. There's
Exactly.
no middle ground. No.
Not at all. I mean, Bayern's history with young managers has never really worked out. Nagelsmann being the most recent failure on that regard.
Yeah. I mean, he got sacked, which was a bit odd, but that's up to Bayern's board at the end of the day.
Exactly. And then the only other thing that I saw about Palace was that there was no transfers going on. I heard nothing.
Really? They
had Kamada that came through
Kamada's
on a free,
came in, yeah.
and that's there are no rumours. There are no
No, there's not a lot going on
he's
at
how we're
Crystal
going to replace
Palace.
Elise. Nothing.
Yeah,
I've
they
heard
bought
nothing.
Chadi Riyad at the start of June, I think, from Real Betis, centre half,
and
which is not a bad bit of business. 13 million,
Kamada.
decent, and Kamada
Maybe they're done. That's my only thought is that maybe they're done. Maybe
might
that's
be
all
enough
they
because they did spend a bit in January. Munoz and Wharton both came in, so
Wharton looks like a great signing now.
but, I mean,
Fantastic.
and Munoz is doing quite well for Colombia, scoring a goal in the
yeah,
Copa
he did,
America.
didn't he? I
Yeah, he's
forgot
doing
about that.
well. He's been
They've
a good
got-
signing.
They've got their semi-final tonight, I think it is.
Yeah, against Uruguay.
It is indeed. So that'll be a tough one. I mean, right now I see Argentina going back to back on that.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah,
Let's keep on topic though. Move on to Everton. Everton. So their ownership has finally been settled. They're no longer in administration. But they were in administration. They were in some financial troubles. That's all in the past. I think.
Not a great situation to be in.
Nope. So Dan Friedkin has been granted exclusivity on a deal to buy 94.1% of the club from Farhad Mashiri. He is the guy that currently owns AS Roma.
Right.
And they are reasonably well run. They've had some successful seasons.
Yeah, they're getting out of their
recently.
financial troubles now.
100%. I don't think that's a bad move for Everton. As long as you have like a solid owner who commits and like make sure every club is run responsibly, which some clubs unfortunately aren't.
Yeah, Mashiri would just spend so much money for Everton.
Well,
So many different players.
Just built a whole new stadium when they couldn't afford it, which is bad. But they are coming out the other side of it with a nice new owner, a nice new stadium, and a nice new Jared Branthwaite, who might not be leaving.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've moved on. I think we're going to go for Lenny Yoro, and I think that deal might.
Yeah,
happen.
if that deal gets done, great deal for Man United.
Branthwaite doesn't
in all
happen.
honesty, yeah. I mean,
and I'd love to see him.
Yeah,
I'd love to see Branthwaite at Man United, but I think as things
it'd be a good
stand,
signing.
as things stand, he's staying.
70 million is
too much money.
It's just too much.
No, I am not. I'm
It's
not
too much money.
paying that. No.
Like if Elise's going for 50 to Bayern, like
And if we're able to pay 50 for Yoro, I don't see why Branthwaite needs to be paid more than that.
Yeah.
There's this whole thing. There's this whole English tax. There's a Man United tax, and there's like a top Premier League tax.
Yeah.
All of which need to come out of football. I think.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it, and I think we're not gonna. Man United aren't gonna pay it anymore.
No.
If you can get Euro for 50 and you have to pay 70 for Bantamweight, you know which one you're doing.
I mean, I've not really seen Euro play at all, but considering his age, the fact that he's starting week in, week out.
And Real Madrid want him.
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
thing. I've not seen anything for Euro.
Yeah.
I know his passing is immaculate and he's very accurate with it. That's the only metric that I see him excelling in currently.
Yeah.
But the fact that Real Madrid want him says it all.
Yeah.
And I think if Real Madrid want someone, then it's done. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So I think if you're competing with Real Madrid for a signing, then you're doing a good thing. You're doing the right thing.
Florentino Perez does not mess about.
Exactly. The only other transfer they've done is Ndai, who's come in from Marseille.
Yeah.
Ex-Sheffield United striker. He was very good in the Championship for them, and then obviously he's gone to France.
Yeah. Struggled a little bit because he's had Aubameyang in front of him, which has been a bit difficult for him to...
That does happen
to get past. But, yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on because Calvert-Lewin and Beto have...
No. We thought
they are
Calvert-Lewin
not
was something,
delivering.
but
Yeah.
No.
They need a new striker. They need something different. Need to get a few more goals because they're solid defensively, obviously, because it's a Sean Dyche.
It's Sean
team.
Dyche, I was going to say.
So
I think we'll end up seeing a little large with him and Calvert-Lewin. I hope Calvert-Lewin goes back to his best form, but I don't see it personally.
No, I think it's too far gone. I think that, it's been a couple seasons now, and he just seems to get constant injuries.
I mean, go out there and prove me wrong and score a brace against Liverpool in the Merseyside derby.
Well, maybe not about that. Maybe not that.
But I hope, I hope he proves me wrong, but I don't see it happening. Fulham is one of the joint least news I could find. Exits, 2 exits, one really good, one really bad. Tosin Adarabioyo was let leave on a free.
Yeah, not good.
Could have sold him to Monaco last season. Didn't. Was great this season, and then it's gone on a free.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on that much money, so you're not saving any wages. So what was the point?
No,
of that?
yeah, it's not good.
But you are making 50 million. Or was it 70 million? I forget which one it is. On
not
Fulham.
sure if I've got it here. I should do.
It was at least £50 million
Yeah,
on
it was a good fee.
It's a good chunk of money. You could go out and buy a replacement and then have some change left over to buy somebody else as well. I think that's a good bit of business for a player who's been wanting to leave for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Both of these players have wanted to leave, and you've in one you haven't been able to get a fee for, which is bad. But with Palhinha, you got your fee, you got your money in for him, and then you can replace him with somebody who's happier to be there.
Yeah.
So good business from Fulham there. I'm surprised I didn't go sniffing at Matt Pfeiffer, who obviously went to Brighton. Yeah. Because I think he would have been statistically the best option. But I'm sure they'll find someone else.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
Let's talk about one of my clubs. In fact, this one.
Ipswich.
Amari Hutchinson is there on a permanent.
Yeah,
and
that's
I am
a good deal.
very, very happy.
It's a good deal.
Because I did not think Chelsea would sell, but they've sold.
Yeah, I'm
20
surprised.
million.
Yeah, but then again, considering they're buying all of these players, they've got to sell someone, haven't they? I just don't think it is the right decision.
But I think 15% of that went to Arsenal.
Yeah,
because they get him on a free from Arsenal.
Yeah,
which is mad. So yeah, they've sold him to Ipswich. He's going to be one of the main reasons that we stay up, if we stay up. Well, of course, we've done our predictions recently. We're going to do another one after the transfer window's finished,
right?
Where we go through how things have changed based on how clubs have done in the transfer window.
Yeah.
So currently, I'm very happy with Ipswich.
I saw Tom put Liverpool 7th. I'm not having that. That's outrageous. Outrageous.
Well,
7th place.
Maybe we'll get you on the next one and we'll see how you react.
7th. Mate, if we finish 7th, my gosh,
Mate,
I tell you,
trust me,
the head loss would be crazy. I'm telling you.
We've been through it. It's not fun. Have fun next season.
Yeah, I mean, if we finish 7th, man, that's shocking. That's really bad.
Exactly. It is terrible.
To go from 3rd to 7th, that's a hell of a drop off.
It is, but it could happen. McKenna stayed at Ipswich. Is the other piece of news for Ipswich, which is great given Brighton and Man United were sniffing around.
Yeah, really good.
Very, very good. And we'll move on to Leicester City. As I look at our producer through the window there, she's not very happy with Cooper being appointed, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, I don't blame her.
Apparently, Leicester's appeal against PAR has been rejected. So basically, they've been done for financial fair play, and they've rejected the appeal they've made into that have been rejected. So they're going to have to pay a fine, I think.
Right.
I forget. I think it's a fine. I don't think it's a points deduction, as far as I'm aware. I think we know about it by now. They have kept Vardy for another season. That contract's been renewed. I think this will be his last year.
Yeah,
I'm fairly confident.
Yeah. He's got a cool time at some point, hasn't he?
They need to find a replacement. They've got a year now to find a replacement.
What a legend!
Which, he is a Premier League legend. His last season deserves to be in the Premier League. So he'll do this season, then hopefully they'll find somebody who can replace him as he goes back to Stockport. He was at, or
that was Fleetwood.
Walsall, Fleetwood. That was it. Fleetwood goes back to Fleetwood for a season. Another player who's gone is Dewsbury Hall. Kieran Dewsbury Hall is gone to Chelsea for
Chelsea.
30 million. Plus a youngster going the other way. Another one of these weird swap deals that Chelsea are doing.
Yeah.
Don't know what we'll see with this youngster. I don't even remember his name. I don't know if we'll ever hear his name. He could not work out, but we will find out.
Yeah.
For the time being, they're going to have to replace him. I don't know what they do for that. They need to do some business, and I haven't seen many links. Unfortunately for Leicester. So fingers crossed, by the time we come back to this in a couple of weeks,
they'll have a few more signings.
They'll have some signings, but we will find out about that later.
Yeah.
Liverpool. Again, one of the clubs that I've heard very little about.
Yeah, we're not doing much.
The one note that I made, it's on my piece of paper here, is Slot the right man for the job, or is he another David Moyes?
I think he's the right man.
I am happy with your confidence.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
What makes me say that? Well, for me anyway, similar style of football, which always suits, so it's going to be an easy change. You don't win trophies with a team with a limited budget in comparison to Ajax in the league for no reason whatsoever. I think that's quite impressive.
Mm-hmm.
He comes across quite well in the press conferences as well, which always helps. I know that's not much of a reason, but it comes across quite well. And I just think with the system that he's going to play, I think it's going to suit our players a bit. Nunez up top, Gakpo on the left. I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to be changing a few positions around.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trent still going to be playing right back, but he's going to invert. He has Hertroida at Feyenoord who was doing the same thing.
Okay.
So that's a similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could have you've got two holding midfielders, and it's interchangeable. He plays more like Pep and Arteta in terms of passing, build up, but still with the intensity that Klopp has. So it's a mixture of the two. It's not a massive change, which is what I really like.
Yeah.
So I think he is going to do well. I think he is going to succeed. I'm not sure whether, this season it will be going for the title. Because I wouldn't
put money on it.
I'm not going to put money on it because we've not made any signings.
This is the biggest thing.
We've not improved at the moment.
No, and there are certain areas of the pitch where you do need to improve.
Yeah, defensive midfield.
You dropped off of that title race pretty early in comparison to the other two.
Yeah, they went to the final day.
Exactly. So the key areas being like DM, like a physical striker, potentially another centre back, and also potentially some cover for Robertson, depending on what they do with Tikismas. But it's interesting. I mean, I think if they were going to succeed next season, I'd need to see some signings that match his philosophy. I get that the squad is in a much better shape than ours was when we moved to David Moyes.
Yeah.
But the reputation of Klopp and the
it's
expectation of the replacement to continue doing the work that he was doing. I know he didn't win the title in his last season, but he still has the keys to Liverpool, and he's one of your greatest ever managers now.
100%.
So he has a lot of weight on his back to do very well, and it might not take much to make a sacking happen. Yeah,
see, I think the way that Liverpool is run, Liverpool do not sack managers unless they really feel the need to. He will get time. He will get time, 100%. If we do end up finishing 6th or 7th, he will not get sacked. I will tell you that now. He will not lose a job.
Prediction here. We'll come back to this in.
I do not think he will lose his job
in May.
And as much as I would be disappointed with 6th or 7th, if we finished that, I would give him another season.
Okay.
Give him another go because I think managers always deserve at least a season, as long as you are not towards a relegation battle. If you're in that relegation battle and you're at risk of dropping down a league, then obviously hundreds of millions of pounds are involved.
Yeah, you have.
So you have to make decisions. Whilst for Liverpool, the situation that they are in with Slot, there's not a huge, massive expectation.
Yeah.
Because everyone is predicting Liverpool to finish lower, which is understandable because it's Klopp and Slot's not as well known.
Yeah, exactly.
But I still think with Slot coming in next season, if we can achieve similar to what we did last season, I would 100% take that. That would be a really good first season.
Cool. Well, I respect that. I respect the commitment. I hope you're right, because as I say, I think we should have given David Moyes more time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what will happen. I don't think it will be great. I don't see us being. Do you remember a few years ago when Arsenal were in the relegation zone for quite a bit?
Yeah.
That was quite funny. I don't see that happening again with you. I think the squad's in a much better position than.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's because there are some glaring holes. A lot of people think it's a lot worse than it is, including me. But I think if you pull your fingers out your asses and do some deals, I think I can see you. It wouldn't take much to put you into that title race again.
No,
but
I think we need a couple signings. We still
done.
need a couple signings, definitely. I mean, we saw that last season. I mean, it's like, you know, once we had a couple of injuries, sometimes we'd be starting Curtis Jones in midfield against big teams. He's not the type. Yeah. Over Harvey Elliott.
Harvey Elliott should have done
baffled me
and
completely.
We'll come on to that.
Yeah,
in
absolutely baffled me. But in regards to Liverpool next season, I think if we hit a similar sort of thing, even if it is a couple of points less, 5 points less, I'll be more than happy with that.
Cool.
First season.
Very, very cool. Let's move on to the winners of last season, Manchester City.
Is anything really going on with them at the minute?
It is the last season of Pep Guardiola.
Oh, yes.
It's the last year of his contract. He's not renewed. He has hinted at in the press that he will not do a new deal after this.
Right.
I think he's getting bored because he keeps doing weird shit to make life harder for himself because he wants to do the bonus game in the game of life, the main game. Like, he's got so sick of winning the Premier League that he just wants play a season without a striker, for example. Or it's ridiculous,
and he still wins it,
and he still fucking wins it.
Still does it.
What I'm kind of hoping for is that he just says, you know what, let's make life amazingly hard for myself. Let's sell all our best players and just play the youth team and see what happens. And he'd still fucking win it, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Like, it's so irritating. But it's his last year, so I'm he will. I think he'll win the Premier League again, and I think that will hopefully be it. And then we can move on. No more Klopp, no more Pep, and life can be happy again.
Yeah, and it will be Arteta.
I'm not worried about Arteta. I'm not worried about Arteta.
You're not worried about Arteta?
I'm not worried
what he's
about
building
Arteta
there?
No, not at all. Bottled it twice in a row now. Like,
I'm not sure.
I've banked on them winning the title 2 years in a row, and they've failed me both times. I've got.
I reckon that they will get there at some stage. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say Pep's gonna be certain to leave just yet, because he has pulled a U-turn.
I don't know. He hasn't signed a new deal, and I'm kind of hoping that he goes to a national team and tries to win a title. Like, I know that Deschamps probably isn't going to leave, but I'd love Deschamps to leave and just go to France or something.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that would annoy me because he'd win that.
He would probably go to. Well, if he was going to go somewhere, obviously he'd go to Spain, but they're doing quite well with De La Fuente at the moment, aren't they?
Well, there's a certain team with 3 lions across their chest.
That would be nice.
Which we'll come on to. But hopefully he just leaves. I just want him out of my life. 115 charges. Just want to drop that in there again.
When is that happening?
Next year.
Right, okay.
So we're going to have to wait until Pep leaves for us to know that he cheated the entire time. I don't need to say anything about 115 charges. I just need to say 115 charges.
Just need to say it. Just need to get it off your chest.
Every time that we bring up Man City. And then the whole thing with Savio is annoying me. This little
of course
loophole.
That happened ages ago now, isn't it?
Because we can't sign Todibo. We can't sign him.
Right,
because he is owned by Nice. And because Nice are playing in the same competition as us, we can't do that deal. But Savio played for Girona last season, who are playing in the same competition as Man City.
But they buying them from Troyes, right?
From Troyes, who
so
are in League 2.
Yeah.
So
that's where they've got the loophole. Yeah.
They're too good at cheating. It's irritating how good at cheating they are. This rule needs to be. I'm at this point. I just want consistency. If the rule is you can't buy players from your sister club, that's fine. But finalise, solidify that so that no one can get any loopholes, and then that's it for everyone. It's consistent. That's what I want. I don't care if we can't do Todibo, as long as Man City can't do Savio. Exactly. Or you say they can do Savio, but we can have Todibo.
Yeah, it's just because it's not the permanent club. That's where they found the loophole. That's just reminded me. Fenway Sports Group are in talks with Bordeaux over ownership. So
is that the guys who own Liverpool?
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean,
so they're looking at that model as well. I think that's just the way the sport's going.
Man United has that now has that model with Nice, and I think it's Le Sol in Switzerland.
Yeah, Chelsea have got Strasbourg
and
in France.
Burton. No, not Burton. Who am I thinking of? Oh, Vitesse.
Yeah.
Vitesse, and then Man City have clubs in every continent.
Yeah.
Troyes,
I'm not
Girona,
a fan of this multi-business model ownership. I think it's a bit, I think if you have one club, stick to that club. That's what I think personally. But
yeah, I suppose I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of not sold either way yet.
Yeah,
it could be. I see how it could be a good business idea.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about the future of football with it. But there are a lot of more glaring issues in football than the multi-club ownership.
I think it's a little bit sad for the clubs. Like if Bordeaux were to be bought by Fenway Sports Group, then Liverpool are going to loan their players, and then if any good players come out of Bordeaux, Liverpool are going to buy them.
Exactly.
So it's sort of just
Liverpool.
Yeah, but it's limiting
Bordeaux's
success, which is what I don't like. I don't agree with that.
If you're going to have multi-club ownership, you have to make all the clubs successful. You have to run all the clubs sustainably.
Of course, yeah. No, that's what I think.
And like fair deals for all the clubs, because then if Bordeaux sell a player to Liverpool and Liverpool have priority, that's not the biggest end of the world.
No,
thing. But as long as Bordeaux are making lots of money on that, so they can improve themselves.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have clubs where they have to have different executives, and then that can work underneath the same owner technically. But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Talking about Todibo, let's move on to Manchester United. I'm in love.
Business.
I'm in love. I'm in love with Sir Jim Radcliffe. Sir Jim Radcliffe, if you're watching this is a full marriage proposal. I will have your children. That's not a problem. Yeah, I'm in love with him. First of all, signings and transfers. I've had issues with over the years. We've never had a competent team running that department. It's always been Ed Woodward.
Yeah.
Or I forget who the other guy was who came after him. I have no idea. I forget his name. That's how
bad they were.
Now we've got Omar Barada.
Yeah.
As the new CEO.
Yeah, former City man.
Dan Ashworth's come from Newcastle. You've got Vivell, who's come from Chelsea on a free to be our head of recruitment. You've got Jason Wilcox as our new technical director, who takes over from Darren Fletcher, who was our technical director before this, who then moves into the coaching team. You have Ten Hag signing a new contract, Van der Gaag leaving, and then a coaching team that includes Steve McLaren.
Yeah.
Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yep.
And then Rene Hack. All of which have been managers. All of which are managers who are coaches working for Ten Hag. And it's Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, not bad for the strikers, eh?
It's like, who is that legend of your club that came back to manage you? I forget his name. Kenny Dalglish?
That's
the one. Yeah, it's like when Kenny Dalglish went to Liverpool. It's like that, but we still have Ten Hag.
Yeah.
It's an amazing setup. And then the recruitment team is now being run by actual people, so you get great transfers. So, apparently we're getting Matthias de Ligt in from Bayern Munich on a great deal.
Yeah, it's a good price as well. I mean, of course he's not been playing as much, but Ten Hag did get the best out of him. If he got the best out of a few players, de Ligt's definitely one of them.
100%. You also have Branthwaite as a deal being talked about, but in case that doesn't work, we've also made a bid for Euro. We were talking about somebody else as well, but I forget who it is. And then obviously Joshua Zirkzee, the release clause is being activated. Yeah. We're discussing that one. And the most important thing, this is all happening in June.
Yeah.
This is happening in June. When has that ever happened for us before? Although, to be fair, I think it's July.
Well, it is July, but still.
This is all happening in July.
You've got 2 months to go until the window's shut, so.
We're doing it early.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's not like Man United.
No.
It's weird. It's weird to watch. It's weird to look.
It's beautiful.
Usually it's Liverpool doing the early business and Manchester United faffing about, but it seems like it's the other way around this summer at the moment.
It's ridiculous. And we've been crying out for this. This was so simple to do. Well, it's something that wouldn't even have cost the Glazers anything, to just put people in charge who know what they're doing. Put Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox, Vivell under Barada and let them just do their magic. The Glazers could have done this, and we all, even though they're taking dividends, and they still are, we would have been less pissed about that because at least the club's being run efficiently and effectively. If
these signings get done, this is a real make or break for Ten Hag this season.
Exactly. I agree. This is it.
I think this is really the big fear. I mean, if he does not, what would you be happy with?
Champions League football.
Champions League, so top, is that top
And
4
a
or was it top
final.
5? Top 5.
I'd say top 4.
Top 4.
Top 4 and a trophy,
Yeah.
I'd be happy with. If he doesn't get Champions League football again
Yeah.
and doesn't get to a final, and we look pretty poor in the cups, then I think you might have to Thing is, right? I said after the FA Cup final, I said you have to decide now. You have to put your eggs in a basket.
Yeah.
You have to say we're either going to sack him or give him a new contract.
Yeah.
You can't just leave him there in limbo, not replacing him.
No, yeah, I thought that was quite bad. I saw something about like they were talking to Tuchel or something at the time.
They called Tuchel.
They called Tuchel
Yeah.
without telling Ten Hag. I thought that
and
was...
they called McKenna as well.
I looked at that and I thought, it's not great,
I'm pretty convinced they were going to replace him until the FA Cup final, and the FA Cup final
and then they
saved
won
him.
the FA Cup final.
And it saved him.
I mean, I personally would have replaced him, but I am sure... Are you on the other?
No, I'm happy. I wanted to keep him. I
look
at the problems last season, and I think none of this is your fault. And I look at all the situations that he's had leading back the last 2 years, like Ronaldo, for example, and the way he's handled everything, I thought has been immaculate.
Yeah, I mean,
the Rashford situation, the Greenwood situation. Who else has had issues? There's somebody else, Casemiro, Sancho. I thought he's been in the right every single time. I can't think of a situation where he's handled something poorly.
No.
I thought he's been great, and I think he deserves 3 years, because at least we gave Jose 3 years. Like, of course we're going to give this guy 3 years.
Yeah.
And also, if you're going to replace him, who are you going to get? Because McKenna wasn't ready to come. Tuchel said no.
Yeah, all the managers have been snapped up.
Nagelsmann is with Germany. He's not going to say yes. I did a video. If you want to check it out, there's a video on my channel where I went through all the options, and I said I'm happy with who I've got. The only man I was thinking about was Tuchel, because at least he's won European trophies. But again, I'm not. He didn't really want to come, and at the same time, I don't put Ten Hag much below him, slightly.
Yeah.
But I think give him his staff, give him the players that work for his system, and give him a chance to play actual Ten Hag football, and I think we'll see something. And if we don't, then sack him.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dan Ashworth,
Newcastle,
another amazing turn into the next thing, which I'm doing now. I forget what it's called. What's that called? A transition.
Yes, that's the word.
Another great transition from me. I'm great at this hosting thing. Aren't I? JK, I'm sure Tom's going to have my neck for that one next week. Dan Ashworth, we have managed to find a replacement at Newcastle. I say we. They have managed to find a replacement. It's going to be Paul Mitchell.
Oh.
Do you know that name?
No.
Okay, cool.
Sounds like a regular English bloke who goes down the pub.
Well, so he looks that way, but he isn't.
Right.
So there's a history, and I know about Paul Mitchell, and I've wanted him to be Man United head of recruitment for a very long time.
Okay, so
we've been chasing him for a very long time. So this guy's a very good. This is the best replacement you could ever get. So, first of all, he starts out at Southampton.
Oh, that's a good start.
And then a certain Argentinian arrives.
Yeah.
Then he moves to Tottenham with this certain Argentinian.
Right.
And he finds certain players such as Dele Alli, and that's just to name his best. And there's lots of options. I can't think of the top of my head who it is. He then goes to Red Bull and becomes head of the Red Bull network for transfers to all the clubs. So then he does a bunch of deals there, including like Sabitzer and like Schlager and people.
Wow.
Like that.
Yeah.
Does a great job with the Red Bull clubs. Seshko being another one. And then he spent the last couple of years chilling in Monaco, who have made some good transfers.
Yeah, they've done quite well recently.
Done okay. He wanted Tosin, and then obviously it didn't happen. He's gone to Chelsea. That's obviously not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Not done much in Monaco, in all fairness, but I think he's just on holiday.
Yeah.
And I think he wanted the Man United job, and he was waiting for that to happen.
Waiting for
it didn't happen.
Never came.
So I think Newcastle couldn't have picked a better man to replace.
Yeah.
100%. Obviously Premier League experience, and then worked for some of the biggest clubs in the world, and he will be able to pick up some useful players. What else happened there? They've not sold Isaac or Gordon. Sorry to interrupt this broadcast. I don't know if it's real or not, but I've just been told Gareth Southgate's getting knighted.
Knighted? No way.
That's what my brother has just texted me. I really hope that he's pulling my leg a little bit there.
But he might be because he's got 100 games as England manager, isn't he?
Oh,
I
good
would believe
Lord.
that.
Oh
I would
my
believe
God,
that.
they're
I
gonna
reckon
knight
that. I reckon that's going to happen.
I have
to
a
be
lot of
fair,
respect.
I mean, he's yeah,
But
he's
knighthood,
done very well, hasn't he?
maybe an MBE or an OBE.
He's done very well.
Oh, good God.
He's done very well. But yeah, I would say that's probably true. So
Sorry, right.
I
So,
reckon your brother's not pulling your leg there.
oh God, I'm gonna come back to that another time. That's a whole other thing. Jesus Christ. So some other breaking news that I got in just before we started recording for Newcastle. The co-owners Amanda Staveley and Merad Kadusi are set to leave the club.
Oh wow!
They're selling them. Is that so? That's not the Saudis, is it? That's
no, that's a
partial owners.
yeah.
So these guys are selling Newcastle, and then Saudi will just
Damn, she's selling
have full control.
Yeah, she's selling a bit in the club. That's interesting.
So was it that they got approved as owners because these two were there?
I'm not certain.
Is this a job where they've been asked to buy a bit of the club for a bit to make sure they pass the owners test, and then they're going to sell, and then the Saudis going to have full control? Newcastle fans, let us know in the comments about that one, because I don't know much information about that, how that's going to work. But it's weird that it's only taken 3 seasons for Newcastle to get sold.
Yeah.
Like, given how well they've done as well, the first season especially, that is strange.
Yeah, they sold Elliot Anderson. He's off to Nottingham Forest. That's a done deal there.
Yes.
Quite surprised.
Moving on to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised with Elliot Anderson leaving. I think he's a good little player for his minutes.
But is he worth £35 million?
Probably not from what you've seen in the Premier League, but he is a decent player. I think this is a good signing for Forest. I reckon he's going to... It just depends how many minutes he's going to get with Morgan Gibbs-White there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll see what happens with that one. Again, with Forest, they've not had a lot of news. Nothing's changed. Like, they've paid this money for Anderson. I don't think it's worth it, but that's pretty much all they've done.
Yeah.
But the Southampton have done some stuff. So
Yeah.
why don't you tell us about Southampton?
Yeah. They brought in a Taylor Harwood-Bellis
From Man City. Yeah.
Permanent deal. He was there
Mhm.
last season on loan, I think. Was he there last season on loan, or was it Ipswich? I'm trying to think.
No, he wasn't at Ipswich. He was Southampton.
It was
I'm pretty
Southampton.
sure it was
Southampton.
Yeah. I think that's just gone permanent.
They are just. Is it Sugawara they're buying from?
Yes, I did see that as a right back.
That's happening
Mhm.
today. Very good signing that looks like.
Great signing.
They rate him a lot in the Netherlands. They think he's a really good right back. So for him to go there,
He reminds me a
that's
lot
pretty
of,
impressive.
not just because he's Japanese, but he does remind me a lot of Tomiyasu,
Right.
and also a lot of Kiva. Those kind of like defensive fullbacks going to the Premier League from like a kind of lesser league.
Yeah.
Like it does scream the same kind of thing.
The thing that's interesting about him though is that he had the most assists in the league for centre back for defenders.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he gets forward.
Okay,
which
I
is
thought
really
he was
interesting.
From what I remember reading about him, I thought he was quite a defensive fullback.
he gets forward a lot as well. They're
Because who have they got at right back at the moment?
Walker
Southampton?
Peters, but I think he's on his way out by the looks of it. I
Might
think
go
he
to
could
Tottenham.
be leaving.
Yeah.
He may,
Well, he can play left back as well, so you might see him playing left back.
yeah. Nevertheless, good signing that. Good bit of business for Southampton. Adam Lallana's back.
Yes, this is what I was about to say.
Yeah, which is interesting.
He has returned. Returned to the club.
Yeah, my best mate Luke's a Southampton fan. He was buzzing about that when he saw him come back.
Yeah,
which was good. Got a soft spot for Lallana, obviously at Liverpool, so it's always nice to see him doing well. So not sure how good a signing it will be because at Brighton, well, last season when he played, he wasn't very good, to be totally honest. When I watched him, I wasn't impressed.
But I mean, when you go to your boyhood club, he does.
And he is like 34, 35.
I'm sure he won't play every single game.
No, he's not gonna. No, I think
but
it's
good to have him back.
Yeah, it's more to get fans on side a little bit more. I can imagine, even more on side.
So let's talk about the only piece of news for Tottenham. We already mentioned it briefly. Gray's gone there from Leeds, from a club who don't win trophies to another club who don't win trophies. So I don't know how he sees his career playing out, but it's not going to be as good as he thought it was going to be. Great bit of business. Needs some more cover in midfield, as we mentioned. Let's quickly move on to West Ham. Max Kilman. And they went with Lopetegui. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on there with West Ham United. It's going to be a bit of a system shake, I reckon. Bit of a change.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know how I feel about Moyes going, because I feel like he deserves as long as he wants, but maybe he wants to leave.
Yeah, I think it's because of the as much as they won a trophy and they were doing well. I think last season, of course, when they're now not going to be in Europe next season, I think the fans sort of wanted a bit of a change. They wanted a different style of play. Like sometimes when watching West Ham United, it is pretty dire. Like they did get some results. I remember the first half of the season, they were doing quite well. They were like 6th, 7th place. But then the last couple months, it's sort of derailed, and they've sort of been a team that's not doing as well, really. And when you watch them, it is not the best football to watch. Simple as that. I'm going to be honest.
It's fair enough. Going for a more attractive brand, Lopetegui can do that. I don't know how well it's going to work out. I'm pretty much on the fence with him at this point.
Yeah.
But he did okay for Wolves, so I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Max Gilman's a great signing. He was great for Wolves last season, and obviously he knows who he is. So we'll see how that pans out for West Ham. And then Wolves lost Kilman. Wolves gave away Kilman, just talking about them briefly as the last club. To sell your captain, I know it's a lot of money, but he's your captain, your best defender.
It'd be interesting to see what they do with the replacement for him.
Well, that 40 million, I reckon, goes off against their FFP. I reckon.
True. Yeah.
I don't think they spend that. I think that's theirs to clear debts.
Yeah,
because financially they're a bit fucked as well.
Yeah, I mean they've just loaned in Jorgen Strand Larsen from Celta Vigo. They've got a £35 million. I don't know how I feel about that one. Release clause. I mean, when I watched him a couple of times. He's not a bad player. He knows where the back of the net is.
Well, that's something not many players there do. So,
but he got a few goals for Celta Vigo. But then again, when they were playing under Rafa Benitez, they didn't really create too many chances. They would play good football. They get in the right positions. They wouldn't score enough. But he does seem like a decent player. But I'm not sure. Well, it depends whether they want to hit the release clause button on that or not.
I wouldn't pay £35 million for him, but that's just me. No. But I guess we'll find out at the end of next season how well they actually do. So that's the end of our little transfer roundup, little news roundup for the clubs. We'll try and do another one in a couple of weeks, and then obviously in a few weeks after that will be the end of the window. And we can kind of go through the summary of what's happened with our little Premier League table update. But some good stuff for certain clubs that could do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I think that's not bad for like a couple of weeks worth of the window being open.
No, it's been decent, especially considering you've got the Euros and the Copa America on as well.
They managed to do some deals whilst that's kind of happening.
Yeah.
But that will bring this episode to an end, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any thoughts on some of the news, drop it down below. If you have any questions for us, drop them down below. What else? If you have any bits of news that we've missed or just haven't happened by the time we've recorded this, drop them down below so we can talk about them next time. And obviously drop that like and subscribe down below. Turn the bell on so you keep hearing notifications about us. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you then.
Thanks for watching. We're just going to roll straight into the next one. I'm not going to bother cutting anything. Cool. We haven't got much time.
That's all right then.
You would just go, do you want to quickly?
Yeah. What managers have you got on your list?
I went with the top 10 odds.
Cool. We'll just go through those.
Clearing out a couple of names because they don't really count. Oh, I forgot to do the... Oh, that's already not... It's not carried over all of the ranking. It ranks it. But
right.
We'll go through each of the options. Right, okay, cool. Let me quickly reply to my brother.
Gareth Southgate. Gonna be
that's
90.
mental. I don't know if that's true.
Sir Gareth Southgate.
Sir Gareth. Oh, God.
How interesting.
I don't think it'll happen, but that's just me. Right, ready? 3, 2. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Blue Podcast Extra. Woo!
Yeah.
Hey. This is a new show that we're doing for some content that's important to talk about, but maybe isn't the main topic of our week. So we can bring it to you in a slightly shorter format. Lloyd, it's your first time on the Blue Podcast Extra.
It is, yeah.
Welcome. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me this week because Tom's not here, unfortunately. But so some would say an improvement, some wouldn't.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my mouth.
Hopefully he doesn't watch this. We're going to talk about something that I talked about, a similar topic on my channel. If you want to check that out, link will be on the channel page. When I talked about Man United's next manager.
Yep.
I ended up saying that Ten Hag should stay. But obviously England's going to have a new manager very, very soon.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about who that could be and decide who's the best candidate.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk us through how you came up with your list first of all, and then I'll go through mine.
Well, I mean, with my list, I was looking at just managers who I thought really could come in and do a job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously there's some ones who are already in jobs, so if they would want to leave, it depends.
Mm-hmm.
But with some of them, it was like, well, they're without a job. England's a massive job to have, a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't any manager really want to go for it?
Yeah.
I don't think, especially with the group of players. It's not like 10 years ago,
Mm.
like when we went to the World Cup in 2014 and got knocked out in the group stages.
Oh,
It's
God.
not
Yeah.
that squad. You know, we're not having Andy Carroll starting up front in 2012. It's different. It's different times.
Yeah, very, very different times. So for my list, I just went for the top 10 most odds-on to do it. So these are the most likely candidates for the job based on Odds Checker. Currently, it's the best odds from all the different bookies. There are a couple of names that I've chalked out because they're out. That's not going to happen.
Right. Okay.
And there's reasons behind that. So I added on a couple of candidates to make it around 10.
Yeah.
So the two candidates that I've ruled out, Jurgen Klopp I've ruled out because he's on a break. He's semi-retired for a season. He's not going to manage anybody, so there's no point in considering him. And Thiago Motta was still on this list, despite that he's just signed on with Juventus.
Gone with Juventus, yeah.
So that's obviously not going to happen because he's obviously just done a deal. So that's not going to happen. But outside of that, I've got 10 candidates. So should we go candidate by candidate? Should you do
might
your
as well.
list?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah,
okay, cool.
we'll go with that. Yeah, why not?
So the odds-on favourite currently is Graham Potter.
Right. Okay.
Not an inspired choice, is it? Like, it's just...
No, I mean, not an ideal world where you have Potter as manager, but I would take him. I do not think it is the worst that England could have.
There are worse options. I mean, he tends to get 1.5 points per game, scoring 1.4 goals and conceding 1.2. So, not the most defensively solid, but not the worst.
Yeah.
But not the most prolific of goal scorers either. In fact, he is probably one of the worst in terms of goals scored.
Yeah, I feel like that's because at his clubs that he's had, he's not massively had an out-and-out striker.
No.
I don't think. Like what? He had Havertz at Chelsea.
Who is at Brighton?
And then at Brighton he had what? Danny Welbeck, Evan Ferguson, who have not.
Evan
really...
Ferguson hadn't even broken through at that point.
Oh, did he not? Who was there then at Brighton?
Glenn
There was
Murray?
Welbeck. Yeah, Murray. Yeah, it would have been Murray. Yeah, probably those two. I'm trying to
Jesus.
think of anyone else. Yeah, you see, the options are not great. Even at Chelsea, as much as he was
obviously...
not the best in terms of points, they still did play some decent football.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Whenever I did watch Chelsea, I remember, I think it was they lost, was it 4-1 to United at Old Trafford? I think it was.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And I thought in that first half, Chelsea could have had 2 or 3 goals. They played really, really well. But I think that just summed up Graham Potter at Chelsea.
He needed time. I think it was a poor sacking, if I'm honest. But that's just me.
They should have never sacked Tuchel in the first place, should they?
Exactly.
To start off with.
It's quite strange that there are 3 managers on this list who have
managed Chelsea. Yeah.
No, not just that managed Chelsea. 3 managers on this list that their last job was Chelsea. Which is mad. Obviously, Potter will play the 3-4-2-1 formation.
Yeah.
So we're talking what? Walker, Stones, Branthwaite, Shaw, James, Gallagher, Mainu, Bellingham, Foden, and Kane.
Yeah, you got
probably be the team.
Rice in there.
Oh, Rice over Gallagher, maybe.
Yeah.
Although he does seem to like Gallagher. Obviously, when he was at Chelsea, he played him, gave him a lot of minutes. So maybe he'd drop Mainu. Maybe it would be Gallagher and Rice potentially. With Gallagher sitting a bit more and then Rice being able to play a little bit more further forward, like he does for Arsenal.
Yeah.
But playing that kind of three at the back formation, which a lot of these managers on this list play a 4 at the back, and most of them play the same formation. So
I want to see a back 4.
It's a bit different with the back 3. It's rare to see a candidate who wants to play a back 3.
Yeah.
But obviously that's the formation that he's best known for.
Yeah, I mean he's on my list as well, Potter.
Is he number 1 on your list?
No.
Who's
he's not number 1 on my list.
Okay.
No.
Shall we? Because I'm kind of going through the most likely to the
Right.
to the
Most
worst
likely. Right. Okay.
So why don't we do your favourites going backwards? So your number one option. Who would you love to see? As
Oh,
your
who would I
manager?
love to see? Right. If realism goes out the window and it's not Jurgen
Well,
Klopp.
you got 10 options, right?
Yeah, you got to. Well, I mean,
rank them.
well, you know.
Who's
I mean,
number one from your
I don't know,
list?
You know, it'd be so interesting. I would love to see Zidane come back to football.
Okay, right.
I
This is
would
not where I
love
thought this was going.
I would love to see him come back to football. I think it'd be, what he did with Real Madrid, won, 3 Champions Leagues in a row, was it? Was it 3 in a row?
Yep.
Absolutely would love to see him back in football, see how he goes, see how he gets on with this group of players, because it's a talented group. It's not as good as the Real Madrid lot, because that's insane group of players. Still a good team. Still a really, really good team. Play a back four, play some free-flowing football. That's what I want to see England play.
I mean, I could see it because he had that kind of amazing midfield which kind of ran itself.
Yeah.
Then relied on very good defenders who were good in wide spaces.
Yeah.
So you're talking Stones and so you have Ramos and Pepe. At the peak.
Yeah.
So you want somebody dirty and somebody silky and good on the ball. So
Yeah.
you have Stones on the right is Ramos, and then left somebody dirty. Maguire. It would be Maguire, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be Maguire, wouldn't it? That'd be funny. And then obviously Shaw, Berto Carlos playing at left back.
I just want to put it out
Walker.
there. This is not happening. This is incredibly unlikely. This is a dream world. It's not going to happen. We're not going to get to that.
He tended to have 2 really great, well-rounded midfielders in Modric and Kroos playing in front of a ball winner.
Yeah.
So you're talking Gallagher.
Yeah.
In front of Bellingham.
Rice.
He could play Gallagher, Bellingham, and Foden. He
Yeah.
could do that.
Yeah, which would
and then
be-
drop Rice.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
for a
drop,
ball
I
winner.
wouldn't
I
drop
wouldn't
Declan
drop
Rice
for
anyway.
Declan
I
Rice,
wouldn't
but
drop
playing Zidane's system, and then obviously you had 2 inside forwards and a physical striker,
Yeah.
Kane. It would be Rashford, wouldn't it? And it would be Palmer.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd just like to see him come back to football because obviously maybe he feels like he doesn't need to do anything more, which I don't blame him.
See, that team excites me more than anything else I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you think about the players who aren't making that team, like Rice, Mainu, Reece James, who else? Gordon. There are some exciting talents that are on the bench for that team.
Yeah.
He's a great manager, Zidane. Don't know how I feel about tactician. I feel like that Real Madrid team kind of ran itself.
Yeah.
But it's a fair shout. It's a fair shout.
I just think in the what he's done at Real Madrid. I mean, I'd take him 100%.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't mind him. Let's put it that way. Be all right.
No, wouldn't do too badly at all. Moving on to the second odds on, and this is the one I see this is my odds on. This is what I think will happen.
Yeah.
And I think Eddie Howe will be the next England manager.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Obviously at Newcastle at the moment, playing a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Very similar to what Zidane would play. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about this.
I would not complain about Eddie Howe.
He concedes a lot more goals than what's his name?
Potter?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. I mean, they were all over the place
it's about
for a couple
350 more. Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong number. It's about 400 more. More goals conceded. It's about 1.38 per game.
Right.
But he scored 1.56, so a lot more.
Yeah.
And obviously, in terms of his points, wins slightly less number of points than Potter. But has done it more consistently.
Yeah,
and
he's
for
had a longer career, hasn't he, Eddie Howe?
It's what is it now? It's 669 games in charge.
Yeah, I thought it was over 500 at least.
And then obviously Potter's only had 440 matches. I just feel like it's uninspired.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that worried me a little bit about Newcastle for a couple of months was defensively. That was like a 2-3 month period. They were all over the place. I think we beat them 4-2 at home.
Yeah.
And we had a XG of 7 in one game. One game we had 7 XG, which is, I think that's the most there ever has been in the Premier League game for one team.
Surely, yeah.
But I do like him as a manager. I like what he tries to implement. He likes a high press, which I'm all for, obviously. I think he would be a decent pick. So I'm not against having Potter or Eddie Howe, but in an ideal world, they wouldn't be near the top of my list.
It's what the FA will do. I just think you could try and be a bit more exciting.
Yeah.
In this kind of day and age when there are so many great tacticians out there, I just think you don't need as many managers, especially when you have people like Kane in the squad who are very good captains. Is a very good captain and very good at galvanising his team. You want somebody who puts some ideas into people's heads, right, and makes use of some of the talents that you have around this team now in the attack, in the midfield. Great defenders who are great on the ball. Like, you don't need to play this way.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Let's take it on away from that, and you give me your second favourite. Who do you want?
Who would I want? I'm quite interested in Xavi. He's out of a job.
He is out of a job. Obviously,
I'm quite interested in that.
Do too well at Barcelona.
I don't think the thing is. See, when I look at how Barca did, and obviously what's happened, he left the job and stuff like that. I don't know. I think he did an all right job. Didn't do too badly. I don't think over time. Like he brought them from where they were under Ronald Koeman, which was it Ronald Koeman or was it Quique Setien? I can't remember which way around it was.
It was both. It was one after the other. It was Koeman and then it was Setien.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah. But whoever was there before was not good.
Yeah. No, he was awful.
Xavi came in, stabilised
him
it
because they could have given him another couple of years to learn his craft.
Stabilised Barcelona, won the league title. Conceded like 25 goals, I think it was. I think in Europe is where they struggled a little bit.
Lost to us in Europa
League.
Yeah,
lost to you in the Europa League. Got knocked out in the quarters. I think, was it against PSG this season or was it round of 16? I cannot remember.
I think it was round of 16 now.
Yeah. So they got knocked out there because Araujo got sent off after like 30 minutes, which was just stupid. But I like the style of football he plays, which is what I want to go for. I want to be able to watch England and I don't want to be bored.
Yeah,
I don't want to be bored.
Yeah, I think you'd get that with Xavi. He definitely would be exciting. I think you'd end up. I don't know how good he is, if I'm honest, but I think it would be exciting. To see
I mean, when I have watched Barca play, they do play some good stuff. It's just last season they were worse defensively. Like the year before that, they were pretty good in the league. Like as I said, I think they conceded less than 30 league goals, which is amazing.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just want to see some nice football. You know, the football that Spain play is so good to watch. You know, and I'm sure.
I mean, De La Fuente can do it, and Xavi can do it.
100%. Definitely. You know, because they have a balance. They De La Fuente's side, they want to knock the ball about, but then at times they will just punt it up the pitch and go long.
Yeah,
you know, they have a balance. That's what I want to see.
Exactly. And I hope we do see that, but I don't know if we will.
No.
It's funny that after two managers we've not had the same name.
I know, it's interesting.
I think at this point, given the time that we have to go through this stuff, I'm just going to rattle through some options and you just tell me if it's a yay or a nay.
Right, okay.
So third odds on is Pochettino.
I'd take Poch.
Yeah,
I would be happy with Poch, yeah.
Obviously another ex-Chelsea boy. 4-2-3-1 formation, not too bad. Jurgen Klopp would be next, but obviously we're not going to talk about him.
Yeah. We'll take him, obviously.
We then talk about my next favourite, which is Lee Carlsey. This is the guy that I want to see.
Interesting.
The guy I want to see. So the reason I'm surprised you don't want this as well because have you seen the under-21s play?
They do play some good football. They do.
And who is the key man for the
manager?
Under-21s? No.
Oh no, Harvey Elliott.
Given that free role in one of those midfield 3 spots,
I back it.
Ability to roam and attack, they are.
I'm all for
progressive and forward. And you look at Spain doing things with their under-21s manager. Why not us now?
Yeah.
I know Gareth Southgate was.
Yeah, we tried that.
But he was never an exciting manager. He was a stable pair of hands. This guy's going to attack.
Yeah.
And he worked for Man City and he worked for Brentford. So he's obviously worked through 2 amazing systems. So I think he might be the shout.
I back it. No. Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
cool.
Obviously, if he's available, I'll take him.
He's the next odds-on favourite, which is the first name on there that I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I want to see that.
Yeah,
that would be great to see happen. But
yeah, I don't think we're gonna wait till 2026 to appoint someone.
Well, this is the thing.
Yeah,
we could do.
Yeah,
and it's not wait till 2026 because his contract's up at the end of the season, so we wait until 2025.
Oh, 2025, sorry. But
so we could do.
Yeah, but
I'd be happy to give it to.
Who's gonna be the caretaker?
Well, Craig Bellamy's the new Wales manager, so God, who's an England guy? Robbie Savage. It would be Robbie. No, oh no, he's Welsh. What am I doing? Oh God, I'm an idiot. No, it would be
Jimmy
Gary
Bullard. Give Jimmy Bullard the job.
It would be Jimmy Fullback. It would be Hasselbank, wouldn't it?
Oh,
it would
right,
be Hasselbank because he's in the setup. It would be him. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I've just insulted with that.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, but Jimmy Fullback, Hasselbank, it would probably be him or Steve Holland who would just run it for a year, train with them, do like qualifiers. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm happy to wait for Pep.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. It just
Next up is Roberto Mancini, who is currently manager of Saudi Arabia. Obviously, you can make that deal happen.
I mean, would I take him? I mean, he's better than Southgate, so yeah, why not?
Yep.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, he did well with Italy, didn't he? Considering that he won the Euros, but then he failed to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
But I mean, what past Italy? What did he do after? I'm trying to think what he did after City. My mind's gone.
He went back to Italy. I think he managed Inter. Hang on,
I think you're right.
I think
he won the league with Inter. Yeah, no, I think you are right.
I'm just going to double check that because it is bugging me a little bit.
But yeah, no, he won the league.
Right, so that's strange. So he was manager of Man City. He then managed Galatasaray for a season,
right,
randomly. Then managed Inter for 2 years.
Yeah.
Then was Zenit manager for a year. And then took over as Italy manager and was there for 5 years. Right. So he had a long stint with Italy. I didn't realise how long it was. But then since August, he's been manager of Saudi Arabia. Pretty much straight away, went straight to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay.
And that's where he is at the moment.
I don't think he's going to leave that job. I mean, I would take him, but I don't think
the England manager's job is the most well-paid international job out there, right?
Yeah, I think it's just considering what he joined, last August?
He's left after a year before.
Yeah, he's been there less than a year, though.
And if England come calling, like I say, the most well-paid job in football.
Yeah, most people are going to take it. Yeah, no, I get your point.
Next up is Thiago Motta. Obviously, we've ruled him out.
Yeah.
Then Didier Deschamps. I don't want... I'm not going to say the words I want to say. You
don't want a Frenchman managing the English
do not
team.
know. Yeah. And that might end up fucking us because, we could potentially win one with a Frenchman and not win one with anybody else.
Yeah, I mean...
I'd rather not, personally.
He has won stuff.
After him beating us in the World Cup,
they looked uninspiring in the Euros, to be totally honest, when I watched them.
Yeah.
Big thing that I want is to be able to watch good football. I'm not...
I don't know if he's that.
I
think Pogba, Kante, and Mbappe won them a World Cup, and they've got such an amazing squad now, and they always get through. And I don't know if it's down to him. It could be.
I'm not certain. I think that's a maybe. I think if worst comes to worst, then
it's better than Southgate.
If it goes down the list, he's not top of the list for me.
Okay, so the last few options: Michael Carrick. On deal for Middlesbrough. I don't think he's ready.
No, I'm not having that.
Frank Lampard.
No.
Yeah.
Stay well away.
It's another ex-Chelsea man. Yeah, I think it's one of the things I could see happening, but no.
Yeah, I don't. No, I wouldn't want that. No.
I think had he succeeded at Everton, I think he would be an England manager, but no.
Yeah.
They can't sell it now.
No.
And then the last name is an interesting one, and one I'd actually quite like to see happen is Ralf Rangnick.
Yeah, he's on my.
Yeah, well he's done with Austria.
He's on my list. Yeah, I'd have him.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best records on this list in terms of goals scored, especially, he's one of the top names.
Yeah.
Alongside Lee Carlsey and Pep Guardiola being the top goal scorers, goals per game ratios. See what I mean about Carlsey?
Yeah.
But yeah, Ralf Rangnick is definitely an option. So. Where's he on your list? Is he third or is he?
He's probably fifth for me. I'd put him fifth.
Okay.
I think he's a good option to have. I think you've got to rule out that time at Manchester United because there was a lot going on there. And he wanted to get players in that United should have got, but the board said no, so that's on them.
The disrespect we gave to that man is ridiculous and criminal.
Yeah, honestly, because he tried to pull out all the weeds and he ended up getting sacked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, But so I think he's a good manager. I think he's a decent coach.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I think he's an exciting option. He's going to play attacking football. He's got a great mentality. I think he wouldn't be a drone like Southgate is and like what Hodgson was before, like a yes man. He would go in there,
which is what the FA like, which is why
and what they've got to stop doing if they want to succeed.
Yeah, they keep on trying to get people who will just do whatever they tell them to. It's like it's like with Southgate, we can get behind him, but there's not a massive personality there, if you get
No.
what I mean, on the touchline or anything.
He's
even
very
in press
dry.
conferences,
Yeah, 100%,
you know.
yeah.
It's like if you want to have a few managers who, you know, you're able to
Yeah.
like and get behind.
I mean, I will have respect for Gareth Southgate when he leaves.
Yeah,
and
100%.
I will look at him and go, you saved us from like jumping. We were in the bottom of the pan. We were
yeah, it was terrible.
the incidents with what's his face, Big Sam.
Yeah,
After all that happened, like a stable pair of hands got us excited about football again. But now we've got these very fun attacking players. We want to see some attacking football.
yeah, we want to see an attacking-minded coach. That's what you want to
Exactly.
see.
But we can look back at our World Cup win or our Euros win under an attacking coach with exciting football where we're very happy, and we can go, well, the foundations of this
was built by
Southgate, and we can go respect for that.
100%.
But you have to know that now is the time that you can't sully your name by putting in a really crap performance at next World Cup because you stayed and you wasted another generation of talent, because then we will start to be upset with you. So take it on the chin. You have done an amazing job for your country, but time to move on.
Yeah.
Do you want to quickly go through some other names off your list?
Yeah.
Who's your go from third favourite and then work your way down?
Yeah, I mean, I've not necessarily got a list written down, but I can do it off the top of my head, I think.
Cool.
A few managers.
So, number 3.
Totally unrealistic. Totally not one that's going to happen. I've been really impressed with Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace. I know it's a back three.
Okay.
But I absolutely love it. I think it's great.
I do agree.
I think the football's great. I think what he does. I mean, I know it's a back three, and I just said I don't really want to see a back three. But his back three is a bit different. It's a bit more entertaining. You've got wing backs flying forward. You've got midfielders who actually want to get on the ball and pass the ball forward, which makes a change. You have like Eze and Elise there. Of course, Elise's gone now.
But obviously Elise was there.
You know, you could have that whether it be Bellingham and Foden, Bellingham and Saka, Foden and Saka.
Well, I think you have that physical striker up front with Mateta, with Kane.
Yeah.
You have inside winger on the left with Foden.
Yeah.
I'd probably end up seeing. I think you'd have to play Bellingham off the right just because he doesn't really fit deeper.
Yeah.
In Glasner's system, so he would be Bellingham there. Your wing backs would be Trent and probably Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
And then Wharton or Mainu.
Yeah.
One of the two alongside Rice. Who's their other midfielder in Palace?
They've got Wharton and I want to say Will Hughes has been starting in midfield a lot for them, I think.
Might have a quick look-see on
Because I think
here.
Lerma's been playing centre-back a lot.
He has been playing centre-back a lot, and I'll get onto my thoughts there in a second. Where
I think it is
Palace?
Hughes.
Because they beat us 4-0. It was Hughes, yeah, it was Will Hughes. So I think you could see Wharton and Mainu.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my rogue shout. Okay, cool. So
Right.
Wharton and Mainu starting in midfield.
Okay.
And a back three of a big physical guy in. We'll use John Stones there for an example. And then right centre back being Walker because he likes to play a fullback at centre back, and then a midfielder playing in defence.
Declan Rice.
In Declan Rice playing.
Yeah,
at centre back.
I'm not against that. I'm not against.
Because you have Shaw there who can cover and knows centre back role.
Well, yeah.
And obviously Walker.
Exactly.
Walker's
yeah,
in there
I'm not totally against it. You know.
I could see him doing something like that.
Yeah.
Or you play Rice in midfield and then you use good. You move Stones out onto that left hand side and then you put Maguire in there as a more physical option, potentially. But
100%.
That's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that one. I think he needs to prove himself a bit more.
I'm really interested in him because he did really well with Frankfurt. So he won a Europa League, didn't he, when he was over there, which is a pretty good thing to do.
Yeah.
And just whenever I've watched Palace, I like the way they play. I don't think he's going to go. He's obviously not going to go because he's only been there since January. So this is why it's unrealistic. Like, if I had Pep Guardiola on here, if it was being super unrealistic, I would put Pep Guardiola on it because he's, brilliant. And everyone loves him. But
you think Glasner's more realistic?
Not necessarily, but I think if Glasner had the chance, if it came cooling, I think it's a bit more difficult to turn down than what Pep Guardiola's got at the moment. Because Pep Guardiola's done it at Barca, done it at Bayern.
Yeah.
Now doing it at City. Maybe he just wants a break. I wouldn't blame him. He's been in football for so long.
I mean, he took a break he went to America, didn't he? And he took a break
yeah.
for a bit.
I mean, it's like even Pep Guardiola had a thing on, I think he was watching Wimbledon or something, and you could see him like almost, there was someone sat next to him, I'm not sure who it was, and he was practically instructing the play and giving tactics ideas at tennis. It's like he doesn't take a minute off.
He can't help it. He can't help himself.
It's absolutely his life.
I really wish he just done Barca for his whole life. Just done this for Barca. Barca would have been dominant. And then we would never have had to see him in Manchester. Like, I just wish that was the case.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Any other names you want to throw out there?
There's I think is it Michel, the current Girona boss?
I don't know his name, but I obviously know what he's done.
Yeah, I can't remember if that's his name or not. But when I have watched him, watched their very attacking, very good style of play. Once again, probably not going to happen.
Michel.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, I thought it was. I like them a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. First half of the season, they were flying. They were absolutely fantastic. They sort of fell away towards the end of it because obviously they.
But what were you expecting with that one? To be fair,
exactly. Like you look at the group of players that they have, they were overachieving. I mean, they've still got some pretty good players in there, but you know, when I watch them, I watch a bit of La Liga. Those most entertaining games had them involved. They were the best to watch. The most fun team to watch in the league, without a doubt. The amount of games that I'd watch and it'd be 3-2, 4-3. You know, it'd be loads and loads of goals. There was a game against Atletico Madrid. They ended up winning it 4-3 at home. Best game I watched all year. Incredible game of football. Morata scored a hat-trick. But, you know, I really like his style of play and his thought process. You know, they want to build out from the back. They want to take the ball forward, but they also want to hit teams on the counter-attack.
Exactly.
You know, with Savio, of course, who's just gone. Sigankov and Dovbyk as a front three. It's a dangerous front three.
I mean, you've summed up what we want as England fans perfectly.
Yeah.
Fun football.
That's what I want to see. You know, I want to be able to watch England and be like, yeah, you know what, this is so fun and enjoyable to watch. When I go from watching Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp to watching England's Gareth Southgate, there's two different levels in terms of entertainment, without a doubt.
Try watching Ten Hag and then Southgate. Like, it's double doses of pain.
No,
Oh, God, Jesus. No, but I like those options a lot. I mean, the bookies obviously do not agree with you in any way.
No, of course not, because it's not likely to happen. Because of course, you know, a lot of the FA manager, the FA, most likely they're going to look at managers who are English. Or they're going to look at someone who's managed in England for a long time. That's what they'll look at. They're not going to try and go out and poach someone from a wider league.
Do that, and then, but hopefully, when you do that, you pick Pep Guardiola. That's the option. That I'm hoping you take.
I mean, if Pep's available, then
I'm happy if Gareth stays as England manager for the next year, and then we get Pep.
I'd be happy.
I'd be happy with that.
I'd be more than happy with that. I'd be buzzing. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Like Gareth, like servant. I mean, as long as we have a plan.
Yeah.
If someone like Pep's coming in, then I'm happy for you to stay for a little bit longer. But like, it's time for you to go.
Yeah. I think his time is probably up. But
100%.
I mean, if he wins the trophy, he goes down as a legend, doesn't he? Of course.
Yeah, no, I think he will. And then obviously we've just heard the news that potentially he might get knighted. If he wins a trophy, probably fair enough.
Yeah.
Knight him, because no one else has done that other than Sir Alf. So
yeah,
fair enough. I think that's all the time we have for today. Some good options there in terms of England manager. Just quickly summarising, my favourite would probably be Lee Carlsley.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite?
Well, theoretical world's probably Zidane or Pep, but most likely, more realistic, Pochettino.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think he's probably the best of that list, to be fair. Who's your option for England manager? Put it down below. Let us know. Drop us a like, obviously, and any other thoughts you have. Any ideas for us? Drop them down below. Anything you want to see. And make sure you're subscribed with the bell on so you never miss any of our amazing, fantastic content when Tom's back. Sorry again, you have to deal with me today. But thank you all very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.